Hey everyone, what's up? This is Uri for Guerrilla Poker. I was looking for hands to go over and suddenly found a 1600 big blind pot played at 5k NL, so we're definitely gonna have to do that one. It's not a very solver oriented hand, everything is off the rails, it has a recreational player involved, but yeah, still worth taking a look at. Okay, so Owen raises from MP to 130, so roughly 2.5x, and we'll call him Ismail. 3 bets from the button, standard-ish size. You can go a little bit bigger if you want, since you are 800 big blinds deep, spoiler alert. Owen goes for a 4-bet. 4-bet here is sized, looks like 4.5x. Now, when you're short stacked, we'll say when you're 100 deep, 4-bets generally don't go above 3x. But what the 4-bet does is it makes it so some of your opponent's hands have a tough time continuing, and as you get deeper and deeper, it makes sense for the 4-bet size to shift. I haven't looked at the stack depth, but feels like a 3-bet size, like 4.5x out of position, so it's probably fine, probably within the range of fine. And then Ismail, given the stack depth, should continue a bunch of suited connected stuff, pocket pairs, his good ace-king offsuits and stuff like that. But yeah, because you have so much money behind, we're gonna assume, even versus this huge 4-bet, that he's got some, 6-7 suited, ace-4 suited, ace-10 suited, king-jack suited, all those hands continuing at some frequencies. And of course, like 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, kings, all of those at some frequency as well. I don't know what should 5-bet in position at this stack depth in this position pair. No clue, really. King-jack 5, two-tone board. Owen was the 4-better. Who does this board favor? So in a standard 3-bet pot spot, I would say the 3-better. And given we're super duper deep and it's a large 4-bet, I feel like the ranges are kind of similar in that Owen's gonna have very strong high card density, while his opponent's gonna be more all over the place. And in that case, it does favor the 4-better, and there's several different approaches players take to these boards that range from betting everything small to having a large size and not betting everything to having multiple sizes. And Owen, I think, tends to go with large sizings fairly often, and here he checks, indicating that theoretically his strategy, and I'm saying theoretically because this is a hand against a recreational player, but theoretically the shape of the strategy should be most of your good hands, so aces and king-jack and ace-king and those kinds of hands are throwing in bets, and when they check, mixing check call and check raise, but they're mostly betting. And your checking range is more stuff that doesn't want to go for a big bet and stack, so queens, jack X, weaker kings, etc, etc. So yeah, Owen checks, he faces a 75% stab and goes for the call. This is a big stab, so you get to slow play more against it, generally speaking. Turn 7 of spades, bringing in the flush. Note that there's no ace, king, or queen of spades on the board, so all the high card flushes are on the table. There are generally less flushes available because pre-flop ranges are like suited aces and suited kings, so if there's ace and king of spades, it's very different than when there aren't. So yeah, Owen checks. Ismail goes for a pot-sized bet, kind of an inappropriate GTO bet for this spot. Generally, what happens when a flush comes in is that we assume that both players now have a new group of nuts, so we size down the first street of betting, because Owen should be check calling with flush draws as well. So in this situation, this is a too big a bet size. I'd like to see something between a third pot and 66% pot. And Owen goes for the call, and at this point ranges are getting very, very, very narrow. Everyone needs to, Owen needs to have a spade. Ismail could just have a bluff. But Owen needs to have a set or a spade or top 2, etc. in order to be here. And we get the river 6 of spades, which, if you think about what I just said, is a very equity shifting card, because Owen kind of needs to have a spade and he can only have high spades. So this is a card that makes it so all of Owen's aces with a spade, ace king with a spade, all those hands are now the nuts. And I think if Owen were to check, he would face a lot of checkbacks from Ismail, whether he has, two pair or a set or a low flush. But Owen's the one with the high spades most likely, and Owen actually recognizes this, and he goes for a 500 big blind donk bet all in. Crazy, right? Like, you're on the river, you donk bet all in for like 80% pot, but it's 500 big blinds. So huge donk bet. He has to take his ace of spades, maybe his king of spades for value. And bluffs are, how do you find bluffs? It's not easy. If you ever have something without a spade, you probably have to go with it. So might be even something like pocket jacks, maybe aces with no spade is still there sometimes. But yeah, you can find some bluffs. And yeah, Owen goes all in. Ismail makes the call. And we see a showdown where Owen has ace of hearts, king of spades, and Ismail has ace of spades, 10 of diamonds. So not flush versus second nut flush. Crazy hand. Ismail going super loose. His hand, of course, should never flat the 4-bet. But post-flop play seems fine. Owen's play seems, I think, very good, including the donk bet. That seems like a very strong play in this spot. And I guess the interesting thing for me to mention to you guys, when you see a 1600 big blind pot with a 500 big blind donk bet all this crazy stuff going on, how does a player conceptualize in-game how the spot should play? And the answer is, and this is something that goes across poker everywhere, is just SPR, stack to pot ratio. On the flop, there's 4k in a pot, and the players have 36k behind, so they have 9x pot behind. If this were a normal 3-bet, say Button would min-raise and Owen would 3-bet to 400, so 8 big blinds, and Button would call, and they were like 130 deep, we're talking about a similar kind of situation. So ranges get a bit narrower, but this plays like 150 deep 3-bet pot in terms of stack to pot ratio. And that's kind of how you evaluate your bet sizes and your relative hand strength and all those things. So despite being insanely deep, the big 4-bet creates a situation where conceptually this is like a slightly deep 3-bet pot. And arriving at that, if you think about the hand, suddenly everything makes sense. This isn't an unavoidable, like a super avoidable, how can you put in 800 big blinds without the nuts spot? Because of the pre-flop action, of course nuts and second nuts are stacking off, no question, despite it being infinite big blinds. And the big mistake Ismail made, like we said, is pre-flop, which is very common for recreational players, as they're just having fun. But yeah, other than that, I mean, well played. Definitely an aggressive guy, aggressively barreling. I haven't seen many more hands with him, but fair to say he's going for it and attacking weakness a decent amount, and maybe due to this, Owen was actually trapping the ace-king, which seems an appropriate trap given the play, but didn't work out. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.